What's up, people? It's your girl Kiera here, come back to another video we love. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my everyday makeup routine because you know I'm a makeup girly now. Like, you know, this is what I do. That's a joke. That is only a joke. However, I have been doing my makeup for a couple years now, and I've also been my own makeup artist for things like my homecoming, my prom, and any other formal event that I've ever gone to in my life. I've only ever done my own makeup, right? And I like to think that I give it to the girls. I feel like I got a little something too, you know. I got a little something up under my sleeve. But for real, I just want to show you guys kind of what I do because I make a lot of like time-lapse videos and things of that nature, and people always ask me like, girl, you do your own makeup? I'm like, yes, girl, you need to start doing your own makeup. Okay, in 2024, why should we pay somebody to do something that we already know? And this is very beginners friendly. As well, all the products will be linked on the screen as I go through, you know, this routine. Okay, so starting off, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about your skin prep before you put any makeup on. It is so important. I have a skincare routine posted on my channel, so you can go check that out. But for real, you just have to have like your skin in the best condition. I'm not saying that you don't have to have any acne, you don't have to have any scars, you have to have the perfect skin, none of that, because as you can see, my skin is not perfect. However, it is moisturized considering that I do have dry skin, so I do like to go in with the dew drops before. That really gives me like this extra shine. I really like that because I have dry skin. If you have more oily skin, you probably can leave off the moisturizer before going in because your primer will probably be your moisturizer if you think about it. Okay, so I first like to go in and do my eyebrows first. And what I like to do is I just like to brush them up with a spoolie brush. You can get a spoolie brush from literally anywhere, but I just like to brush them up. I keep my eyebrows pretty natural when I'm doing my everyday glam, just because I don't want them to draw too much attention. So what I do is I just brush my hair up, kind of giving them that laminated look, and then I take a brow freeze. I'm just using the one from Elf, and I basically put those hairs in place. This is basically like an edge control. Think of it like that. And you kind of just lay those hairs in place. So I'm just putting that right on my brows. However, if you do not have brow freeze, you don't have to rush out and get one. Before I discovered brow freeze, I was definitely using edge control, and it worked wonders actually, and I never broke out from it. So not saying that you have to do that, not saying that you should do that, I'm just saying it is an alternative if you need it. So as I said, I'm just kind of brushing these hairs up. We're very close and personal right now, but yes, I'm just going in and I'm slicking those hairs up, giving it that laminated look, and I'm just sliding my thing down just so all those stray hairs kind of line up. You see? Compare this brow to this brow. Now look at these are how my brows look. Literally, I haven't filled them in. I haven't put any pencil work on them. This is just how they look with the brow gel. Now I'm actually going to go in and fill them in, and what I like to do is just fill in any scar spots. So probably like right here, a couple spots right here, and the same on my other brow. And I also like to give a very like clear, crisp underline, not too harsh, of course. I don't want people to think, oh, she really drew her eyebrows on, and especially since my eyebrows are pretty good. Not trying to be cocky, but they look pretty good, so I usually don't do too much. How they look filled in, and now I'm going back in with my spoolie brush to just fix those hairs that may have gone out of place. And this is how my brows are looking. Pretty good if you ask me. Lastly, for my brows, as you've probably seen before, I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to carve out the bottom of my eyebrow with some concealer just to really clean it up and give it a really crisp look. I'm not using a too bright concealer, but If you've never used concealer before, the very loose rule about concealer is that it's 2 shades lighter than what you are. If you are scared about using concealer, you can just go up 1 shade. It's not that big of a deal. However, I do recommend going up 2 shades if you really want to kind of see a little difference, especially if you want to lighten up certain areas. So going in with a brush that kind of looks like a paintbrush. I'm just taking a very little bit on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to go right under my eyebrow. And that's how it's looking. And then I do the exact same thing on the other eyebrow. And then again, lastly for my brows, I just go in with the pencil again, and I'll just line right above the concealer just to really give a very crisp look. Okay, eyebrows are really important, and if your eyebrows are off, it definitely can make your whole makeup look off as well. Moving on from brows, we're going to start working on the face. So I'm first going to go in with the primer. I like to put my primer on the brush and then just put it on my face. And a primer is used so that your makeup does not move. Okay, you do not want your makeup coming off throughout the day or however long you're wearing it, and primer helps with that, especially if you have a very good primer. I'm using the e.l.f. putty primer, I'm pretty sure, and y'all, it's so sticky. Y'all probably can't even see, but my brush is sticking to my face and it works wonders. So after putting that on my whole entire face, I like to go in with the Danessa Merrick's Blurring Balm. This is basically like a skin tint because I don't like to wear foundation. I only like to wear foundation when I'm doing a very full coverage, full glam look. So this helps. So I literally just put a little bit on my cheeks and my forehead. And I don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of this. I like to use a skin tint when I'm doing my everyday makeup just because it evens out my skin tone while not making it feel like I have a bunch of makeup on. Like, this is so light and airy. I love it. While I'm doing this, I am not putting any under my eyes because that is where my concealer is going to go. And because this is not a full glam look, I want this to look smooth, okay? I want this to look, people be like, oh, you got makeup on? I do, but you can't tell, you know? That's kind of how I want it to be, right? So I'm going to put this basically everywhere. Very thin though. So once that is all blended out, I like to go back in with my concealer. And I like to put concealer under my eyes, just like this. I don't put concealer all the way down here, just because for me I need it. Again, I'm trying to give a very smooth finish, and I also don't want to look like I'm wearing a bunch of makeup. I like to put it on my forehead, and I also like to put it on my chin. Next, I'm going to go in with the cream contour. This is actually a foundation stick that I use as a contour. Literally love this stuff, but I like to put 2 dashes, I guess you can call them, on my forehead, kind of like in a V shape. I like to put some right on my cheekbones, just a little bit, because again, don't want to do too much. And I like to put some on my chin area to really define, and that is it. If I'm doing my everyday makeup, I do not contour my nose. I know if that is something that you want to do, you do it. I just don't do it when I'm doing my everyday makeup. I feel like it's just a little too much. It's a little too much. However, now that my eyebrow concealer has been sitting for a little bit, this is the perfect time to blend it out. You don't ever want to blend out your makeup right after you put it on, especially concealer or like contour. You kind of want them to sit a little bit to have the best coverage. So I'm taking the Real Techniques. This is probably an eyeshadow brush, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm using it for concealer. And I'm a brush girly. I don't use beauty blenders. I'm sorry. But if you like a beauty blender, use that. But I'm just going in, and I'm not going like this, right? I'm tapping it into my skin, right? Just little dabs, nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna blend it out. Now as you can see, this is how this side looks blended out, and this is it not blended out, so you can see that difference. Okay, so once that is done, I like to go in and I like to blend the rest of my concealer. I use a bigger brush this time. It's an angled brush, and I'm gonna go in. The order that I like to go in is chin, forehead, and then I do both of my under eyes. Now a lot of people ask when they start doing makeup, like, what is this all for, right? Like, I don't understand concealer, I don't understand contour. Like, I understand how it looks when the product is finished, but like, what is it? So basically for concealer, it really is just to highlight your face and also to brighten like dark spots. So a lot of times people have like underbags and their underbags can be really dark. Sometimes putting either a color corrector or concealer on top of that can help brighten it, and it makes you look more awake. It puts a lot of brightness in the center of your face, which honestly is very attractive usually when you're looking at people. So as I'm blending my eye, as I'm blending under my eye, I like to blend my concealer up and just a little down over here near my nose. This gives my face kind of like a snatch look, if that makes sense. And then going in with my tiny brush again, I'm going to blend right in those corners. So that's how it looks when my concealer is all blended out. But now we have to bring some color back to my face, and this is what the contour is for, right? So I'm gonna get an angled brush for that, just like this, and I'm gonna go in and using the same technique that I used on my concealer, I'm gonna go and blend that out. Okay, this is how everything looks blended out. I'm now going to go in with my last creamy product before I go in with my setting powder, and that is going to be blush, right? So taking the cream blush, not the powder blush, taking the cream blush. This is by Patrick Ta, I believe. I'm going to really lightly because this is kind of pigmented, and I'm going to go in, and I like to smile. I'm sorry, but I like to smile, and I like to put it right on my cheeks, and I like to blend it up. I don't put too much of this because I'm going to go back in with more blush after I set, right? So I like to just kind of give myself a little bit more color in my cheeks, but not too much. So when I do my everyday makeup routine, I only set my face, I do not bake. So I set with the Huda Beauty setting powder, and I use a little powder puff to do that. And I literally take the smallest amount, guys. Like, I wipe so much excess off, like this amount, and I basically use that amount to set where I put my concealer at. So I put it on my chin, right? So I'm setting that, and this is just helping to give a very blurred look, right? Like, I want my face to just look smooth, as I said, right? Taking it right on my forehead, that center. And then the most important is under the eye, because setting powder can help with creasing, which is basically when you have like with creasing under the eye. But sometimes creasing is very natural, so I don't really care most about that. I just really care about getting a very like blurred look. I don't want to look too shiny, right? Okay, so here's how it looks with the setting. And then I go back in with that blush, right? And I'm going to go in with the powder blush now. I'm just going to brush out my lash extensions. Now, don't look too close because I need a lash refill real bad. Real bad, okay? This eye looks so much more full than this eye. Girl, I don't know what happened, but when I do this routine, I do not put any mascara on my under eyes, on my bottom lashes. However, you definitely can. You can add eyeliner or whatever. Please make this your own. So then I'm going to set my face With the setting spray, again, you don't want your makeup moving. We're taking all precautions, right? So I'm going to set it with the one size setting spray. So lastly, I just like to finish off with a lip liner and lip gloss. This combo I'm using is the e.l.f. smooth little lip liner thing. Yeah, I actually don't know. It'll be on the screen. And I'm using the Summer Fridays lip balm.